Neo Deity, and welcome to the Young Elder Podcast, where we discuss either science or philosophy, or just knowledge that needs to be known. Now, recently, I was just contemplating on whether or not I want to talk about science or something serious. I'm gonna do both because I feel like it is my channel. Rock out, Rockstar is. You feel what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm gonna ramble on about speakers and how vastly easy they are to create. And if you don't know what a speaker is, buckle up, my young ones. We're gonna dive into it. Speakers in terms of how they are built, uses copper coils or any type of coil to create an electromagnetic force via repulsion or attraction. You tape or you attach that coil to something that can vibrate and become audible, something like cardboard or paper, Kapton or Mylar. Those are diaphragms. You attach it to that, and then you add a magnet in the center, a very strong one. And what that's going to do is create the attraction and repulsion because you're creating an electromagnet. That's basically what's happening here. When you attract, boom, it attracts. When you repel, boom, it repels. Simple? Okay. Now, suppose, right, you wanted to make a magnet, right? Because of the fact that you can't get your hands on a magnet. Your Amazon order saying it's canceled or it's delayed and you need that freaking speaker built. What do? Well, you go into the scientific principles. And first and foremost, any type of electricity or electrostatic energy that moves can generate and do generate a magnetic field. Any magnetic field that moves generates an electric field thereof. Hence, why these two are tied together like this. Now, suppose you have one wire that has current running through it. It has its own electromagnetic field, but it's weak. Both its electric field and its magnetic field. What happens when you coil it? Well, when you coil it, magnetic field gets stronger, to the point where now you run current through it. Its magnetic field is strong to the point where it can attract even this cast iron right here. Now, suppose I wanted to create a speaker, but I did not have a magnet. Create an electromagnet. Simple. But people don't usually do that. You don't see that commercially. I guarantee you don't ever see anything that's iron inside of a speaker. You'll more likely see a neodymium magnet inside of it. And that's because it works the best. But if you want to build one for your type of purposes, you can make that. Though, here is one that I discovered lately that does work. And you can try this yourself. Create an electromagnet, right? Get you an iron nail and some copper wire or any type of wire, coil it, run a current through it, and pulse it. What you're gonna see and what you're gonna notice is that when you pulse it fast enough, you're gonna hear a sound be produced on anything that's ferrous in nature that can also have a wide surface area. Anything that's ferrous in nature with a wide surface area can work for this. And this principle I deem induction acoustics, acoustic induction. Using electromagnetic induction to induce a magnetic field inside of any type of metal so that that metal can produce a sound. And it's just that simple. The only thing about it, you have to have the current switch on and off or switch back and forth. Any form of AC will work. That's how you will know when it works. So yeah, I urge y'all, give this a try. Because I guarantee you'll see that there's more than one way to use electromagnetic energy to create sound waves. And you don't have to rely on a magnet. Now, with that out the way, I'm finna go discuss Tesla coils because I can. But seriously though, it's amazing how one man found a way to create high frequencies with nothing but copper coils. Granted, they were large, but still effective at the end of the day. And I always wondered, and I still got to look into this, how is it that you can change the frequency of a coil just by having way more turns per coil? Meaning the primary has very few turns, but the secondary has so many windings. And I do mean so many. I think like 500 to 1,000 windings. And the primary is just 2 to 4, only to generate those high frequencies. And you already know it's already creating high voltages. It's just the frequency at which it operates. I don't know how it affects it. And I always get voltage and frequency confused. You can have something at an extremely high voltage, but the frequency can be at 50 to 60 hertz per second, which is why my generator that y'all seen the other day, that's a high voltage generator. It isn't necessarily a high frequency generator, although it would have done the same exact thing. But yeah, I wonder what can increase the frequency, right? Oh, and by the way, to this day, I still believe that what Tesla was talking about, the ether, that was nothing more but radio waves. He figured out a way to harvest radio waves. And again, I ain't gonna say and again, but radio waves are basically electromagnetic waves that are megahertz to gigahertz in range. And they operate omnidirectionally every single day, 10 days. You get what I'm saying. They've always been around here. When you take out those cell towers, they'll still be here. That's how omnipresent radio waves are. And I believe that Tesla found a way to not only harvest radio waves, but use them in a way to the point where we can power up literally anything that we want. And once you realize that, now you realize why it would have been a problem / issue. Not for commercial wise. No, that's a whole other topic for another day. But just for construction, because Tesla had these very large windings and these very large coils. And because of that, if you wanted something that could charge your phone, you would have to either have an extremely small antenna or an extremely wide antenna. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the sizes are vastly different, and we have the technology to do it. But we have to have, how should I say this? A frequency band wave antenna that can not only capture that energy, but can store it inside of a capacitor or a battery bank that can recharge it constantly over and 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 over again. Like, yeah, energy has always been free. Y'all just didn't realize that the ether that y'all been thinking about was really radio waves, electromagnetic waves on higher frequencies. You feel what I'm saying? Which is why to this day, I still don't believe in the ether. I still believe that Tesla mistaked the ether for radio waves. Because if you ever tried to create a crystal radio, you would know that a crystal radio can work without a battery. Like, I urge you, look this up on YouTube, look this up on Google, look this up literally everywhere with the scientific backing, etc. You can have a radio work without a battery. That alone lets you know that energy is already here. Radio waves can create force via acoustics. Wait a minute, hold on. If acoustic energy ain't nothing but oscillations via pressure, meaning there is kinetic movement, and radio waves are able to be captured via what's proven with crystal radios, then what do you think would be possible if you were to create a crystal radio and you were to amplify that? Ooh, you'd have a system that wouldn't even need a battery, that could just work wherever you go, no matter which time period you travel to. Because I guarantee you, if you're able to produce sound waves with that, you're able to harvest it. It's just gonna take probably an extremely long time, give or take, depending on how you structure that antenna. Otherwise, yeah, 10 times out of 10, you can basically run a car on radio waves, which is exactly what my African brethren did. He discovered the same exact thing that I'm conveying to you right now, and that is that radio waves are able to still produce sound without a battery. And he discovered this while just having that radio off. Like the radio was unplugged, had no batteries, nothing. And yet he still heard a sound produced from that. And that's how he created the car. Especially when he integrated fractals. And if you want to know what a fractal is, that's nothing but a repeating pattern in nature. And if you want to look at one, that's a fractal. A tree is a fractal. And if you look at a leaf, it's a fractal. And that's exactly how he structured his antennas inside of those types of cars, which is how they're able to become electromagnetic waves to be captured inside of the antenna, sent through a specialized circuit into a capacitor bank, which can be discharged for power for that car. And that's how he did it. Just simple as that. Now, the specific circuit, I cannot say because me personally, I don't know how to create that circuit myself, but I do know that this is possible. It's the matter of efficiency for someone to really do this, especially with how antennas are able to create those types of induction as well as capturing that energy thereof. Because I haven't even mentioned to you all how electromagnetic waves are able to do it. And it's simply resonance. If anything can match the frequency of such, energy gets passed on thereof via sympathetic resonance. There we go. I almost lost the train of thought. It's sympathetic resonance. Meaning you have two tuning forks. You hit this one. If this one's at the same exact frequency, they resonate. And that's what's happening electromagnetically. You have a coil or an antenna, and you have all these free radio waves that are at multiple different frequencies, and they're passing through. And what's happening is they're inducing this type of antenna or antenna or inductor. And when that happens, that's when electricity gets to flow all the way through here. Because if you did not know that frequencies, you know what, screw this. Say this like you know it. If you did not know, any electromagnetic energy that hits a conductor becomes electrolyzed, meaning now that type of conductor has electricity. There we go. I have to say it because I don't want my words to slur. Meaning, when electromagnetic waves hits a conductor, if it's at that same exact frequency or if it's shaped or tuned as such, it's able to generate and create its own electromagnetic energy that can be utilized and harvested. And you can send that into a specialized circuit. There we go. Because my words almost slurred because of that. And that's basically what Tesla was trying to tell us. I wouldn't even say tell us, that's what Tesla was constantly working towards. But because of the fact that Tesla did not have the funding to pursue this further, that's why he did not succeed in building this. It's not that he couldn't, it's that he didn't have the funding and the resources to explore this back then. But now, since we know way more about electromagnetic induction, resonance, sympathetic resonance, capacitance, and how electricity can be stored, all that and then such, now we know exactly how electricity can be stored. Now we know how to harvest all of that energy from the air via radio waves and place them inside of capacitor banks. Now we know how to do that. Because once you understand that this is nothing more but electromagnetic induction, and you would have to generate, form, build, and create an array of antennas that can not only match the frequencies of those radio wave bands, but can also capture it and create electromagnetic energy in such antennas and inductors. Now you can send and utilize that electricity for whatever you want and need. That is what Tesla wanted. That is what Tesla strived to achieve, and that is what Tesla gifted to us all. The usage of how we can utilize electromagnetic energy. And I didn't even take into consideration how piezoelectricity can take place, because Tesla was experimenting with grounding as well in combination with radio waves. When you combine radio waves with piezoelectricity from the ground, when you ground that wire deep enough, now you have energy and electricity that comes from both spaces merging, and then you can send that through a circuit so that it can be usable, so that it can be stored, so that it can be released to be usable. You feel what I'm saying? Now, to summarize all this up, number one, radio waves, no matter if cell towers are here or not, will always be present, because this is the universal electromagnetic energy that has always been here, no matter what time period you go to. Two, sympathetic resonance can happen not only in conductors, but also in acoustics. Three, electromagnetic energy can induce electricity inside of other conductors. Four, fractals, as well as an array of antennas, can capture a wide band and a wide range of electricity and radio waves via inductance and sympathetic resonance thereof. And five, a curated frequency, a curated PCB or a curated circuit that's able to capture all of this electricity, send it through the circuit so that it can be usable, and store it inside of a capacitor bank. And do not forget the diode, because it will backfire and short circuit itself. Once you do that, now you can basically harvest all of that electricity. And when you have something with the highest of efficiency, you can power up your own home. And I'm not even finna say the companies knew about this. If they knew about this, they would have slumped any and everything that's similar or that could even lead to this. They would have slumped this. Nobody would have known about this. But the fact that this is known, and the fact that the pieces are already here and all you have to do is combine them together, you can power up your home with nothing more but ambient radio wave energy. Take that into consideration. You do not need no battery. You do not need friction. You do not need kinetic energy thereof. All you need is resonance and efficiency in how you build those antennas and inductors. That is all you need. So yeah, I urge you all, go and try it for yourselves. Build those crystal radios. See how it works. See how you can tune it. Let's see how we can make this more efficient. See what happens when you add a fractal antenna. See what happens when you have multiple of these. What's the voltage? What's the amperage? How many wattages can you get from this? Let's build this and construct this. Because I guarantee you, if one person comes up with this, whether it's me, whether it's my brethren from Africa who's making or building these cars, or someone else across the globe, another Tesla maybe, someone is gonna bring this to the light. I don't know who it is, I don't care who it is, but someone will build this. There's gonna be resistance, but I guarantee you, by that time it'll be way too late. When this person built this, gas, fuel, even batteries, and chemical processes of how batteries can store up and release energy, all of those will collapse, if not be used in a better way. And once that happens, now you'll see a whole change in how we really utilize manipulate, structure, and formulate the energy that we have on this planet. And that is how you can use radio waves to go and power up your cars. That's how my African brethren did it. So yeah, go test this out yourselves. Because the first step, build a radio. That's step number one. Build the radio. Because when you hear that sound, that's when you know you did it. And now, I'm finna go discuss how this is possible even further, because this can work with other types of circuits too. And that's sympathetic resonance and induction. Boom. Main topic covered, side topic here. Induction is when you have an electromagnetic signal that's oscillating back and forth or is turned on and off. When that happens, it induces an electrical current inside of other conductors thereof, whether it's iron, copper, aluminum, don't matter what it is. Depending on its reaction, depend on the type of metal. Meaning if it's iron, it'll heat up slightly depending on how much amperage and how much wattage you send through said conductor, well, said inductor. And you know what? Let's call it a transformer, because that's exactly what it is. This uses nothing more but transformer physics. Anything that's a metal, that's a conductor, no matter what's its shape, no matter what it looks like, is a secondary for this transformer. Meaning your primary, and matter of fact, screw this. Your primary is your conductor, is your inductor, the one that has the coils current back and forth. Your secondary and your primary is any type of metal. It's any type of metal that can be induced, no matter what it is. Now, when you send that electromagnetic, you know what? Send it here. Y'all come and want to walk with me. When you send that electromagnetic energy through that inductor, and you do that constantly back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, any type of conductor that's a metal will take in that same amount of energy, no matter what it is. And when it does that, bam, you can generate heat, you can generate electricity, you can generate an electrostatic field if you can hold it. And once you do that, now all of a sudden you can use any type of electromagnetic byproduct thereof. You want to heat something up? Then have something like iron be the secondary. Iron, titanium, anything that current can barely pass through. If you want electricity, have something like copper, a superconductor, aluminum. If you want a static field, that doesn't require AC unless you have not an H-bridge rectifier, that's DC to AC. You know what, screw it. A diode array. So that no matter which way that current switches, the direction goes from here to here, like a DC signal source. And so when you have that in combination with sympathetic resonance, that's how you can build up electromagnetic energy. And with sympathetic resonance, that's anything that can match the frequency of the first signal will automatically generate its own signal. And I'll go back to this example. 432 hertz, these two are at 432. You hit this one, it resonates at 432. This one resonates at 432. Now, let's say this one's at 440. You strike this one resonates, this one doesn't. Why? Because you're not matching the frequencies. Frequency allows this metal to flow. Frequency allows this conductor. And let's translate this to acoustics. Allows this cavity allows this wood, allows this diaphragm or whatever to resonate without any type of input from said source, aside from this type of input. So yeah, when you take this type of energy and you resonate it, it will induce any type, no matter if it's sympathetic resonance or inductance. And both are happening at the same exact time. Confirmation. That's what happened. That is exactly what's happening with antennas. You have not only induction from the electromagnetic waves in the air, you also have sympathetic resonance and such happening at the same exact time. And when you combine those two effects, now you have antennas that are not only able to easily take in that energy, you have antennas that work at better efficiencies. And when you have fractals of the such, now that's triple the efficiency. Less strain on the antennas, less strain, really less heat and less losses being induced inside of those antennas, and more energy that can be stored in those capacitor banks or those battery banks, no matter what it is. That's how you can improve efficiency thereof. So to summarize everything, so that we can move on to the next topic, sympathetic resonance combined with electromagnetic induction, combined with radio waves that are always here, combined with a circuit, combined with an array of fractal antennas, combined with a capacitor bank or a battery, equals free energy. Because it's always here. And now to the next topic. Because I already hammered this down inside of y'all heads constantly. Now, I'm finna get into the science of alkaloids, because I can. Any type of alkaloid is naturally a base, whether that's baking soda, wood, ash, lye, water, etc. Even sodium hydroxide. Anything that's high in the pH scale is, and I do mean is, an alkaloid. And what's funny is the fact that no matter what it is, any alkaloid in abundance is dangerous for your gut health. Not because bases are bad for this, but because too much of it can cause that acid inside of your stomach to become alkaline, way too alkaline. Your stomach's acid needs to become and needs to maintain its acidity to break down each and every bits of those foods. Other than that, it will not do the such. It will not do the such. And when you have foods, I wouldn't even say foods, when you have any type of plant, any type of matter, any type of chemical that's high on the pH scale, 10 times out of 10, if it isn't the secondary effects from those type of molecules that takes you out, it's usually the high alkaloid count, which is how you'll have something like Chinese, I wouldn't say prunes or persimmons, those berries that pop up every now and again, there's a specific type that you cannot eat because they are high in alkaloids. Because they're high in alkaloids, as soon as you consume them, you'll get sick, you'll throw up, you'll have nausea. Even worse, you'll kick the bucket. Which is why it's imperative that you get every single bit of information about a plant that you can. Because those like false elderberry, I'll even say false elderberry, I forgot what their names are. They look exactly like elderberry. But as soon as you consume them, you'll have diarrhea, nausea, and you'll kick the bucket. They're even so dangerous to the point where if you leave them on your skin, some people can't handle it. They'll get sick from that. Which is why you always have to be careful with what you consume, with what you intake, especially with what you get from nature. Because while yes, nature provides, nature can also kill. And really, this is one of my favorite phrases by yours truly. Nature may love you, but don't get it twisted. Turn your back just once and she may take you out. And that's not only a fact, that's something that you can see for yourself. Nature gave us flowers, but she also gave us tigers. Nature gave us waters, rivers, and trees, but she also gave us human beings. Nature gave us dogs and cats. Actually, no, she didn't. Humans did that via breeding, selective breeding at that. Nature gave us wolves, and nature also gave us snakes. Don't get it twisted and think that just because she loves you, she won't hurt you. Even if it's on accident, nature will take you out if she get the chance. When she get the chance, even. And that's what's beautiful about nature. Like, nature is so gentle, so beautiful, and so serene. But nature is also so destructive. And honestly, she's a great representation of how people see the divine source, the one above all. That divine source is kind, generous, genuine, and usually doesn't do anything to you, especially if you have a pure heart. But that kind source can also be destructive. The same person that can give you, not even the same person, that same entity that allowed for peace is that same exact entity that can bring hurricanes and thunderstorms. That same entity that can bring prosperity can also bring hardships. Don't think because God loves you, God won't put you through a lesson. God will. And to everyone who been in this live, y'all seen it firsthand. How I usually am able to get my words across, yet I had to go take a walk so that I can get my words out better. Just like yours truly. Just because I myself am a kind, genuine soul, that doesn't mean that I don't have a dark side. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, that's the realest thing. That is honestly the realest thing that I can really tell y'all right now. I may be a kind-hearted person, and I do give love where love is deserved. But don't get it twisted and think I'm soft. Especially when those negative emotions boil up in me. Because I'm human too. And when those negative emotions boil up inside of me, sometimes there are things that a kid is not supposed to see. And again, even Yeshua flipped the tables. Don't get it twisted and think that those with the pure hearts are those who are meant to be played with and those who are soft. That's far from the truth. Because the ones who are the most peaceful are also the ones who are the most destructive. That's a fact. You've seen it with Yahweh, you see it with Yeshua, you've seen it with Mother Nature. And you also seen it with every kind soul, and I do mean every kind soul, that people push to the brink. When you push the wrong person to the brink, you start to see a darker side of them. And that's something that negative people just seem to not understand. Because history has shown this time and time and time again, that the more you push your luck, the worse the thunderstorm becomes. So, I urge you all, take care of Mother Nature. If you believe in God, Yeshua, the universe, give thanks to them. Don't push your luck. Please don't. If you have a person who always give you love, don't push your luck. Because you just don't know when that bottle will pop. And it could simmer down when you just get out their way. Stay out their way if they want to be unbothered and do what they want. And the bottle never pops. But if you allow that bottle to pop, and I do mean if you allow it to pop, you'll get worse than a hurricane. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, show love, show kindness, especially to those, I wouldn't even say especially to those who deserve it. Show love however you can, if you can, because you're human and you feel those emotions too. And if anybody tries to push your buttons, maintain your composure. Because when you pop, that's something that you just don't want people to see. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Maintain your composure because they're not ready for that. Okay? All right. Now, intermission. Let me go check this out. Let me see. Damn, ain't nobody comment. Oh well. At least I got likes though. And to anybody still in here, that is what it's like for keeping your composure. When you have external sources interrupting you constantly, and yet you're still trying to convey that message. When you're able to do that without blowing up, or even when you make a move, you're still able to get your words out. You're a great one. And I'm gonna leave it at that. And as always, stay peaceful, blessed up, miracled up, and know that you will well appreciate what's taken care of by the divine and one above all our highest source, God, as well as everyone that truly and genuinely and deeply cares about you deep within their souls. Always remember that here you are loved. Here you are loved. We care about you here. If no one else does, we do. I do. Know that no matter what, we are always here to give you that listening ear. Don't be afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk with us. We're always here for you to give you that listening ear. If no one else wants to listen, we're here for you. That community tab is always on my YouTube. Hit it up. We're always here for you. And for those of y'all bouncing in and out, if y'all seen how my behavior or my speech has been slurred, y'all heard the external environment. And y'all know that did not stop me. And I'm probably finna get back on this mug too. Depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, love yours, love everybody as much as you can. And know that no matter what, somebody loves you. And no matter what, somebody cares for you. Okay? And don't forget to smile, okay? Okay? Now come in for this hug. Yeah, come in. Yeah. Now. It is always a shape he sailed at you.